Welcome to the Freedom Property Podcast, the modern real estate brand empowering excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, the Freedom Property Podcast show. Aimon, what's been going on, brother?
Heaps of stuff. Market's changed a little bit, but media's still pumping out. So
Absolutely.
What about you?
Do you feel like there's more listings coming on right now, or?
Right now, yeah. Like for a couple of weeks there, it was clear that everyone was like a bit scared. It was like, oh, what do we do?
Yeah.
But now it's starting to be like everyone's getting comfortable with what this market looks like. And so obviously sellers are coming to market.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
yeah, I feel like there's a lot of people putting their houses on the market right now. Yeah, it went from the buyers fearing on missing out to now maybe the sellers fearing on missing out, you know. So, yeah, and I think there will be a lot more listings coming on in the next few months because usually people put their homes on the market towards the end of the years because of the summer months and people changing jobs and schools that time of year. So I reckon it's going to get real busy.
well, yeah, I mean, if anything, though, if agents are afraid that maybe they're not going to have a full pipeline, then the obvious answer is to just pump out more media, you know, provide more value to your audience, and we can help you with that. So
absolutely. Yeah, we've done many podcasts on this show of good things to do. So we thought we would do a podcast today on the biggest mistakes that people are making right now in this market. And I got this from Michael Kollosche. So these are the points that he brought up, and yeah, and he's obviously one of the biggest agents in Australia right now, if not the biggest, running one of the best offices in Australia, you know. So, yeah, let's touch on the biggest mistakes that agents are making and let's see how we can help the audience.
Nice. Well, the first one is no fixed date or auction.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of umming and ahhing going on with buyers at the moment. So auction in a great market is always a fantastic way to sell your property. But in a tighter market or an average market or whatever you want to call this market right now, having an end date on a listing saying, look, buyers, we're going to make a decision on this day if you don't make a decision yourselves.
So as in when you go to listing on realestate.com or wherever, it says best offer buy.
So that's a best offer buy or a tender scenario, which is good as well. I prefer the auction because the difference with an auction and a tender, you know, on the tender date, you can still have offers that have got subject to conditions like finance, like building and pests, like homes to sell, cooling off periods. Whereas with an auction, on that auction day, it's a done deal.
Yep.
So they turn up on the day, they present their offers, and the seller, if they're prepared to accept market value, they can sell in a very quick time frame. So yeah, having a fixed date on your listings right now will force buyers to hurry up and make decisions because, yeah, look, for sure, like why would they buy a property now if they feel like they can get the same property for cheaper in a few months' time? You know, but that's not necessarily where everyone's heads are at. People just want to buy a property. So if you show them that there's value on offer, if a seller wants to sell, let's put an end date there, let's get the job done.
And so that's enforcing a bit of like scarcity there in terms of like this property will disappear. If you do like it, you have to take action kind of thing.
Hurry up, make a decision. Yep. I'm going to sell to somebody else if you don't want it. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's go, buyers. Let's go.
Nice. Okay, so what about not using flexible pricing?
So again, like when you're doing an appraisal right now, and you're going to give the seller some sort of a range, you know, so you need to be quite flexible with that range. So it's not like I think I can get you X amount. You need to give them a flexible price range, but you also need to revisit that because if we do the appraisal now and then we put the property on the market in 3 months' time, we may need to revisit this. So, you know, you need to be flexible with the numbers that you're giving out to your potential sellers, agents. So just be careful with that.
And so when you're in that appraisal or even listing pres, you would manage those expectations to say, hey, look, if you're going to take a month to get on the market and then it's going to take a month to sell, the price might be different. Are you telling that to the seller?
Look, our smartest sellers right now are getting their properties on the market quicker. You know, so yeah, look, there's going to be a lot more homes hit the market. Interest rate rises are doing what they're doing right now, interest rates. So, you know, the smartest sellers out in the marketplace, they're rushing their properties to market right now. So, you know, the quicker you can get it done, probably the better price you're going to get. But only like 6, 12 months ago, 18 months ago, I was going to properties and it was the opposite. So they would tell me a number and it would take like 3 or 4 months for them to come onto the market and you just get like a way better price for them. So that was enjoyable, but those days a little bit gone now. There's definitely still some amazing results happening out there on the right properties, because the right properties in the right locations will always sell well. But your general property right now, you just have to be careful on the numbers that you're giving out at appraisals.
Yeah, nice. So listing the right stock.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? Listing the right stock? Are you saying listing the wrong
you
stock?
have to list the right stock.
Right,
you know what I mean? So listing the right stock is so important right now. So yeah, like people want a certain type of property, you know, like, you know, in the good markets, you can sell anything, you know, you can sell any unit, you can sell main road properties, you can sell properties that, you know, need certain things done to them, you know, you can sell development blocks, you can sell blocks of land, you know, like right now there's certain things that are a little bit more difficult to sell than others, you know, and with inflation, with building costs, land is quite difficult. Properties that, you know, on main roads or have got tenants in them, they're quite difficult to sell, you know. You can still sell these properties, don't get me wrong, but you know, they're a little bit harder to sell. So if you're only listing properties that are hard to sell, you know, it's going to be hard to sell homes.
Okay, so like a bit of an objection to that though, like, you know, I'm a newer agent in the industry, for example, like the only stock that I can get my hands on is that, you know, unit on a main road or whatever it is. Like,
why do you think that?
There's just so much other competition out there in the industry. Like, you know, I'm only relatively new, like I'm doing the listing presentations, doing the phone calls, but that's all I'm coming across.
But if you don't think you're the right person for the job, then do you think the seller thinks you're the right person for the job? What are you bringing to the table right now for the seller?
Well, I don't have these answers because I'm not an actual agent.
Well, hey, there'll be agents that will be thinking that way right now. So you need to flip your perspective, agents. So, you know, what you bring to the table is you bring you know, the positive energy, you bring the enthusiasm, you bring the work ethic, you bring a fresh approach. These are the things that you bring to the table. You bring an amazing marketing package. You bring someone in your team who's got years of experience, who's got the knowledge there along with you at those types of presentations, you know. So you've got your benefits that the other people don't have. And if you don't, if you think you can't get that listing, it's because you don't have the relationship with the seller. That's your only issue right now. So yeah, it's not about the property, it's about the relationship with the seller. So you just need to get the relationship.
Nice. Cool. That's good. Okay, so not giving enough feedback, would that be to sellers or buyers or?
Yeah, mostly sellers. I think that, you know, like I'm very big on, you know, making sure my seller has a login to our system. So with Freedom Property and the property platform, all the sellers get a login as they sign up with us, and they can see every inspection. So who these people are, the positives, the negatives, the general comments. So they've always got all this feedback. So obviously whenever we do an inspection with a buyer, we're ringing them, we're getting their feedback. Obviously we've got a survey that goes out. All this feedback goes in there for the seller. So they need as much information from the buyers who are inspecting their homes as possible. They also need to know everything that's selling around them, you know. So if another property sells in the suburb, they need to know that. You know, your sellers need to know all this information. They need to feel like a buyer in the marketplace. So yeah, my advice would be to speak to your sellers most days. If not you, someone in your team.
So that's like post, like they've signed up. So I've got the listing and you're just always communicating with them. And that's obviously just to kind of,
yeah,
you know,
like obviously before the listing goes up, you know, like I've got my team that helps me put the whole listing up, put it all together. But as soon as we go live, you know, my team and I, we're speaking with the seller, you know. So my job is to motivate the buyers to make the offer when the offer comes in, put the deal together, negotiate that with the seller. And then I've got another team that gets it from there to unconditional and to settlement. So yeah, I run my business a little bit differently, but I like to stay in my lane, and I want my sellers to know I'm exactly where I need to be for them, you know, because me sorting out measurements for the fridge, that's not what my seller wants to do. My seller wants me to be talking to the hottest buyer in the marketplace about their property and trying to put them on that, not, you know, writing the ad.
Yeah, nice. And from like a buyer's perspective, like, you know, whenever I'm buying a, you know, smaller ticket item than selling a house, for example, like, and then somebody keeps that communication with me. Yeah, obviously I am like aware of like how this kind of works, but it's like, yeah, I'm so much more likely to just give them their business and then trust them and be like, oh yeah, you know, like take my money, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's for a small ticket item. So it's like, imagine if you're, you know, an agent, someone's entrusting you with 20K and you're not even.
But there's so much work to do for an agent, you know, there's so much to do, but you know, this is why you get a good team around you, you have good systems, you have good structure, and and everyone knows their roles and everyone does their bit, and you explain that to your seller the whole way through, that you are a team, and but this is the feedback that you're giving, so it's your whole team giving the seller feedback the whole time about the buyers, about the open home on the weekend that we've just booked in. It's I've just got this all ready for the open home, I've just booked this in, and just got this happening, these are as much feedback as possible. This property just sold, this one's just come onto the market, so yeah, feedback is vital in this market.
Nice. And so to build on that, like lack of focus on buyers and then private inspections as well.
Absolutely. So, buyer work right now is so important, and doing private inspections, vital, absolutely vital, because if your buyer turns up to an open home and they're the only buyer there and they love the property, they might just think about it for a little bit, and they may not come in at the right number. Whereas if they ring you and they're a red hot buyer, assess that, and if your seller's okay with it, then run them through as quickly as possible. But don't waste a good buyer right now. So I'm huge on buyer work. You can listen to some of the other podcasts that we've done on this show about how we manage our buyers, about the different stages of buyers, and who should be doing what stages. So yeah, please look back into that. But yeah, buyer work, so important right now. So, but remember, these are the biggest mistakes that people are making. So we're just running through the mistakes. So if there's anything we're listing today that you're not doing, this is what you need to change in your business right now.
Yeah, nice. And the proof is in the pudding. Like, I think we were doing a shoot the other day and you had like 3 different sets of people on a private inspection before the listing was even live. So it's like, that would definitely kind of drive the competition if they're like, oh, we're here for a private inspection, but there's 2 other parties here as well. Like,
absolutely. Back-to-back inspections are really good, like one at 5, one at 5:15, one at 5:30. They see the other ones leave, So if they are negative about the house, at least they're not doing it in front of the other buyer. We're trying to get them as they go.
Yeah, nice. All right, what's next? Not enough listings.
Not enough listings. Well, go get some listings. Seriously, what are we doing here, agents? If you got no listings, you can just blame yourself, because we're giving you the blueprint for this, like work your community, work your buyers, work your past sellers, work your relationships, speak to all the businesses in your area, work with the influential people in your area, giving you all of these things to help you get listings. Everything's about getting listings. Once you get listings, you get more listings. So, if you're not getting listings, it's maybe because you're not running your listings the right way, So again, that's a whole nother podcast, which we will do soon. But yeah, get more listings.
You heard it here first, folks. It's super easy. All right, so too few listing gen methods. Don't know what that means.
Generation. So, obviously, you need to have different avenues of where you're going to get your business. So if you're just fishing with one rod, you're not going to get that many bites, are you? But if you've got 20 rods out there, then you've got a good chance, So do you have a really good social media strategy and different messages that are going around? Like, do you have like a photo that's got like lead generation capture? Do you have video that's got lead generation capture? Do you have free market reports? Do you have everything, through the socials? Do you have a good letterbox dropping campaign with QR codes? Do you have good billboards? Do you have bus stops everywhere? Do you have, in all the local papers? Or if you want to do that, what is your lead generation methods? And then when you get your leads, do you manage them well? That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah,
but
sure, yeah.
Lead generation. You need as many leads coming in as possible.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so inability to manage stress and anxiety. Well, yeah, that's a huge one, especially
Absolutely.
in this day and age.
Yeah, for sure. And especially in a time like we're in right now. This is it's going to get harder, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of agents watch this, so a lot of agents are in the same boat. There's a lot of pressure right now. We've got a lot of listings. There's a lot of sellers that want their homes sold. Not a lot of buyers that want to buy them. So obviously that's going to add pressure to your lives. So, again, you got to have a good routine, don't you? You got to have some good rituals, and you got to work hard to, be in the right state of mind for your sellers and for your buyers and for the people around you. So, yeah, manage that stress and anxiety.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I find like when I'm not on top of my habits, like everything else just kind of not falls apart, but I'm just not on my game in business, and I'm just doing like the bare minimum to get by. But when I'm doing everything like outside of work to just, be on top of it, when I'm here, like I'm present and I'm crushing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just matters so much,
Absolutely. Yeah. That's everything in life, like obviously business and work and all this stuff, this is great. But realistically, when you are going for a walk in the morning or doing a meditation or spending time with your family and friends and breaking yourself in the gym or, trying to do something hard or eating the right foods, these things are what's going to make your business better at the end of the day.
And your life better, I suppose.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Any other mistakes before we round it out?
Just not working with us,
That's the obvious one.
Well, that's a huge one for you. But no, look, we're here to help you. This is why we're doing this podcast, because we want to help people. We're going to give away as much as we possibly can. So if you know anybody that wants to link up with us, then please let us know. Obviously, at the moment, we're interviewing a lot of the freedom property people. We still haven't got through all the freedom people, so we're going to keep doing that, and then we're going to invite people onto this show, and we're going to get some outside sources, because it'd be great to get some
different perspectives.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we don't have to talk about real estate all the time. So
yeah, if you want to come on the show, hit us up. But yeah, share this with another agent that you know or someone else that could benefit from it. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace out. Thank you.